Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Lisa's Coloring Corner. Some of you may have noticed out on Arteza's website, they now have a new Everblend marker out there. It is the Ultra Everblend marker, and I did receive this 12 set of pastel tones. These are the colors that come in this set. Now there are a number of 12 sets in the Ultra format that you can buy. All of the sets of 12 are included in their large, I believe it's a 144 set, yeah. But you can purchase them individually also. And then they also sent me a 2-pack of their marker pads. So let's open this up. I have not looked at any of these products yet, as you can see. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to swatch out these markers on the marker paper. We're going to compare these Ultra colors and markers to the old. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference that my contact at Arteza told me there are between the Ultra markers and the original Everblend markers. So this is the marker paper. You get 50 sheets in each of these packs. It is 9 by 12. So it is not perfectly fit for your printer. If you're looking for an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, it is a little bit larger than that. 73 pound. Oh, it's very smooth. Yeah, definitely geared towards marker. Okay, so I am going to take a sheet out of here. Now it is definitely thin enough to go through a printer though. So if you wanted to maybe cut it down, if you wanted an 8.5 by 11, I think I am going to get a sheet of, well, let's just, I know I have some scratch paper around here somewhere that I could put underneath this paper so it doesn't bleed onto my desk. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, it is bigger than an 8.5 by 11, but we are going to use it just to see how the markers work on this type of paper and see what the marker paper is like. And then, like I said, we'll get out the original Arteza Everblends and maybe we'll try to do a little bit of blending on the marker paper and see how it works. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, look at the pretty shades. Isn't that gorgeous? Who doesn't love pastel colors? So let's take a look at one. Now, what my contact told me is new on these particular markers versus the regular. They do look a little different. There are new colors in this new line. So there's quite a few new colors between the Ultra and the regular Everblends. The tips, the fine ones are finer now, and we're going to again compare this to the original Everblends. The ink has been upgraded, and there is a new numbering system to them. So this is the Chisel Nib. Looks like it did before. Again, I'll get out one of the others and we'll compare. This is the fine nib. So let's get out one that's kind of a comparable shade. We'll just grab another pink here. Okay, so the shape of the markers is identical. Okay. Now I do notice, you know, these are both the fine tips because the ring is around, the colored ring is around the fine nib end. You'll notice they're printed the opposite now. They were printed to be able to be read when the fine nib was down here, right? And now it's the other way. Not a biggie. Otherwise, the outside of the barrel is pretty much identical. Little bit different, but not much. Okay, so let's take a look at the chisels to see if there is a difference. I do not see much of a difference at all. The new version looks like it may be out, maybe a little bit longer. That could just be on this particular marker though. Otherwise, yeah, pretty much the same. So let's take a look. Gotta make sure I'm putting the covers on the right one. Yep. Let's take a look at, not the chisel, the fine nib. Now, she did tell me they were finer now. I don't see a difference. Myself, I do not see a difference at all, do you? One thing I do notice, and I don't know if they're all going to be this way, the color of the end here is not color coordinated to the marker color. You know what I mean? It's gray. And that one's white. Whereas before, it was white, and then the fine nib was color coordinated. Interesting. Now, were they all like that? I am assuming they were. Yeah. I guess I never really noticed that until now, that the fine nib, yeah, the chisel was white, and then the fine nib was color coordinated to the color of the marker. Okay, so let's get all of these out. Like I said, it is a set of 12 pastels. Now, if we do look, again, prior, the colored ring was coordinated with the color of the marker. Now they are just gray. It's just a gray ring. So I am assuming this end is not colored. No, it is just gray. Not a biggie. Just one of the differences, I guess. So let us grab my pen here. We're going to just do a little bit of swatching of these 12 colors. So let's zoom in a little. Don't have a color chart or anything made up for just these 12. That would be silly. Y39 white quartz. Now I know before we did have a quartz white, so I don't know if this is the same color or not. Let's do the chisel. Now I do have my color charts here from all the other ones. Where was the white quartz? I don't see it. I know it was in here. I'm trying to quick scan here. Oh, quartz white. Yeah, it is different. Much more yellow than this top one here, which was quartz white. The white quartz is, yes, much, much more yellow. So it is a total different color. And we have Y15 Sapphire Yellow. That's pretty. And I do believe this also is a new color. No, that isn't. But again, this Sapphire Yellow from the regular Everblend, the older ones, is much paler. Okay. So the ink is different. Let's try YR37. And this is Apricot. Some of the names may cross over into the older set, but it looks like the colors are different. That's a pretty peach. Now again, I think we did have an Apricot. Yes. And that one does look pretty much the same. Yeah. What else do we have here? We have RP09 Ballerina Pink. That sounds familiar too. Oh, that's pretty. Did we have a Ballerina Pink? Why does that sound familiar? Maybe not. No, that's a new color. Okay. All right. We have, oh, this is from the old set. Okay. We have R36 Peony Pink. So far, I don't feel a big difference. Could be, though, because I am coloring on different paper. You know what I mean? That would be the only difference, but because I haven't colored on this marker paper before, so I think we'll color or, you know, swatch out a few of that, of the older, and see. G09 Pomelo. Is it Pomelo green? I'm just grabbing some colors. As you can tell. No longer going in order. Nice, pretty pale green. G17 Mantis green. I do like the new numbering system, with having that preliminary letter instead of just the A for Arteza. Now having the preliminary letter gives you the family color that it is from, or the color family. Let's go to the blues, BG19. So sort of like how Copics are numbered, how they're named. This is pale aqua blue. I think all of these are new colors. Nope, this one is in the 120 set. But again, it may be totally different. No, that one looks real similar. Maybe a little bit paler. We have the B17 Baby Blue. I believe all their marker sets and pencil sets and things all started with an A for Arteza. At least I'm assuming that's what it stood for. Baby Blue. is new. And we have a couple of purples. PB09 Periwinkle. So these are supposed to be more artist grade. Oh, isn't that pretty? And then PB16 Sweet Pea Purple. Isn't that a cute name? So I know this was not in the other sets. Oh, pretty. Pretty Easter colors, right? And then last, we have YR19 Cream Pearl. Nice light tan. Those are always nice to have. So, yeah, kind of, it's even lighter than the tan rose and the oatmeal brown, you know, some of the real pale ones we have in the skin tone set. So, kind of along the beige line, but a little bit different. Okay. So, there you have it. There we have the 12 colors. Again, this is in the 12 count of the Everblend Ultra markers. Now, I notice on their packaging, they don't say Ultra. They are just saying the Everblend Art markers. So, I guess that could be a little confusing because you're going to think this is part of the original ones. Yeah, Arteza Everblend Art Markers. Okay. All right. So, what I think I'm going to do now, try to test out this paper a little bit and see how we can blend. Let's take these two purples. And we're going to work with the chisel tips because when you try to blend, of course, a chisel tip is going to be easier to blend with than a fine nib. So let's go with, we'll do it this way. And you want to saturate your paper really good when you're trying to blend. And then make sure you come in with your other color while it is still wet. And then kind of blend in the middle there. I know some do dark to light, some do light to dark. Now when you go light to dark, you can see, and I am definitely no expert, as you can tell, on blending markers. So that was dark to light. Now if you do light to dark, you would cover the whole area, let's do it in circles, with your light color first. Again, we want to saturate it good. And you're going to come in with your dark color. Now, if you have the brush tip, you can, you know, do your flicking. You can kind of do it with your chisels, too. And then come back in the other way with your lighter color until they kind of blend together. To me, this kind of works a little bit easier than this way. You want it a little bit darker, you know, and come back in, put, you know, some more of your dark color in. Again, it's much easier to do with brush tips than the chisel or the fine nibs. But now, if you do it this way, which I think is what most people do, and you have more than two colors, there's quite a few additional steps there, right? Because you'll be going light And then, you know, your dark, you put a medium over there, and then you blend the medium and the dark. You put your light, blend it to the medium. You know, you got to go back over and go back and forth between the colors. But it does blend very nicely on this paper. And like I said, I'm better at this method than this method. Let's try the greens. And again, let's go from light to dark. We'll go up here. Let's saturate the paper good again. And let's bring in, you know, at the very end, you know, the beginning, you can go in solid, but where you want it to blend, you know, do your flicking. And you come in from the other end. And yes, it does blend nicely on this paper. Let's try the older brand, because they do say, you know, the ink is higher quality now. I'm just going to pick out a couple of colors that are real close. Let's see, we did purple and green there. Let's pick out a couple of pinks that are kind of close. How about 46 and, no, let's do 4887, hot pink and fuchsia. 4887, hot pink and fuchsia. Okay. Now, excuse me, I believe these here, you know, blended just fine too. And with being on this nice marker paper, I'm sure they're going to perform just fine too. Now, I think the hot pink was the lighter one. Nope, that's darker. Fuchsia is the lighter one. And a lot of times, when you're really working on your blending, you can keep both pens open at the same time, because again, you want to work relatively quickly because you want the ink to stay wet. And this is only for those of you who have not blended markers together at all. Like I said, I am by no means an expert on this. I don't do it a whole lot, and I hope to get into it more. Now, I picked two colors that were maybe too similar. Yeah. Because we're not going to be able to see a good blend in there, are we? Let's pick something that's a little bit farther apart. It was hot pink, right? Yeah. Want to pick something relatively close so it's not too hard to blend, but that was too close. So let's pick something a little farther apart. How about the hot pink and a lighter pink? Let's pick 323 fluorescent pink. We'll try these two. That is pretty though. All right, here we go again. This is with the lighter color. So now our dark color is going to be quite a bit darker. This marker is a little bit drier though. I must like this color, huh? Not quite as wet. Okay, so if we start in here, and again, you can color in solid, however you want. I'm just in a hurry right now. And then do your flicking. Come back with your lighter on the other end. and do your flicking. Just kind of blend them together. The other ones do seem to blend a little bit easier. And it could just be the colors that I picked out. So, okay. But it does, yeah, it definitely does work. Like I said, I am by no means an expert on blending, but this paper does work very, very nicely. I do like it. Like I said, I don't really notice a big difference right off the bat between the Ultra and the regulars. This is an older one. Yeah, let me try this again. Except for the other one seemed a little bit, yeah, this, the old one for some reason, the nib, the paper seems smoother. Does it sound different to you? You know, it's not scratchy at all. It's very smooth feeling. Whereas this one, it's louder, isn't it? It feels a little bit scratchier, and it could just be, you know, that the nib is going to be more durable or the ink itself is more blendable, because it did seem to blend better. Now, again, it could be the two colors being closer together than this. And this blended okay, and like I said, it could definitely and probably is user error rather than their markers. But this paper is very nice. Love it. Like I said, if you cut it down into a 8.5 by 11, this would easily go through any printer out there. It is thin, but yeah, definitely nice marker paper. I do like it. I do like it. I do wish it did come in an 8.5 by 11, but this is a very common size, you know, for your marker pads, for any paper pad. Geared more towards artists, not us who like to put things through a printer, a coloring page, right? Okay, and it does include a protective sheet, so that's what this sheet in the front is. Tear out this sheet and use it to protect your pages from bleeding marker ink. So that's what I could have put underneath here instead of looking for this. So that could come in handy in your coloring books too. Let's zoom back out a little. Okay, so there you have it. They do blend beautifully. I myself, again, no expert in markers, only the ones that I have used. And I mostly use brush tips. I wish Arteza would come out with brush tips. But these colors, these pastel colors are just gorgeous. I will leave a link to this set down below in the description, as well as the marker paper. Now, I did look out on Arteza's site. You can get the Everblend Ultra. Let me come in a little. You can get the Amazon Ultra Art Markers, the 72 set. Now, this is another difference you're going to notice between the Ultra markers and the regular Everblends, the price. Yeah, there's just no getting around not mentioning that. The 72 set is $227.99. Each of these 12 sets are $38.99. So they do have the bright set and the pastel set. They do have a 36 set of tropical tones. That is $118.99. And then they do have a large set, a 144 set for $458.99. Now, I did have a couple of people message me, send me emails about the fact that their older Everblend markers were out of stock. And they are. I talked to my contact at Arteza. She says currently they are concentrating on trying to get their new line out and making sure they have enough supplies for their orders. But they will be having these come back into stock, the older version. So like the 120, I think many of these are out of stock currently. You can get replacement nibs, both the fine nib and the chisel. They do have their own their marker nib tweezers. I have the Copic one. I think this looks very similar. Love my tweezers. Here is the new 72 set of the Ultra Everblend markers. Okay, so these are all the colors from the 72 set. Here is the entire set of the 144, the new Ultra. So I went through, I looked at all of these colors. I compared it to not only this set, because all of the 72 are in here. Okay, of course, all the 72s would be in the 144. But I wanted to see how many new colors were in this Ultra set, this 144, compared to the 120 set, the skin tone set, and the gray tone set, because we know there is some new colors between each of those sets, right? So what I did, took out my, let me zoom back out a little, took out my 120 set, the skin tone, I don't need the 60, the skin tone and the gray tone set. I wanted to see what was all new, because she had told me that, you know, the new Ultra markers had a lot of new colors. And we did find out, like the quartz white versus the yellow or the white quartz, very similar name, but very different colors. And then one of the others that I swatched, even though it had the same name, it looked quite different. So even though they have the same names, maybe the color is going to be a little bit different due to the new ink formula. Not sure. Anyhow, going according to the color names, I compared them to what they had out in the older version of the Everblends. This is what I came up with. We'll zoom back in. Okay. My legend, if you will, on here. If there's an X up here, it was in the older 120 set. I shouldn't say older. In the original 120 set. Let's put it that way. If there's a check mark, it was in the original skin tone set. If there is an asterisk, it was in the original gray tone set. And if there's a circle, it's a brand new color. Okay. So I went through every single one. There are some that were in the skin tone set. But, and you know, some of course in the original 120 set. Many of them were brand new colors though. So out of this 144 set, I found, and this was just quickly comparing this to my color swatches from the original Everblends. I may have missed something here and there, but according to what I seen, there are 96 new colors or color names in the 144 Ultra Everblend markers. So a lot of new colors in these new markers, the Ultra, versus what's out there now. Some of them may be very similar, and maybe they just kind of gave them a new name. But we have some beautiful yellows up here. Look at these earth tones. You know, a lot of some new reds in here. We have, I like some of the names they gave them. We have sandstone orange. We have grapefruit orange, poppy red, sea urchin red. What was some of the other ones that I just kind of got a kick out of? Let's see. Oh, we got reptile pink. Prune purple, wisteria, butterfly blue, that sweet pea purple, I like that. Hawaiian blue, diamond blue, topaz blue, whale blue, dusk blue, wave blue, surf blue, cactus green, not sure how to pronounce that, spearmint green, honeydew green, micro green, aniseed green, creamy green, grape green, sencha green, honeysuckle green. You know, so they do have some different names, definitely, from their original 120 skin tones or gray tones set. So yeah, I just thought it would be interesting. I printed this off from their website, what all the new markers are. And yeah, I was just kind of curious to see what would be new in here versus their original Everblend markers. And yeah, there are a lot new colors. So I guess the biggest thing that I can see, and I know it's the biggest thing that's going to jump out at everybody, is this cost. Not everybody's going to be able to plop down $450 for a set of 144 markers. Again, maybe geared more towards the artist. It is getting up there. I'm not sure what that comes out to as far as cost per marker. But yeah, it's getting up there in cost. Not as much as a Copic, of course. I am hoping that they will eventually come out with maybe some ink refills. Would make this cost maybe a little bit more justified, because then they'd be refillable, right? And you wouldn't need, if you run out of a color, you wouldn't need to have to worry about buying a new replacement pack, because you can buy single colors. They come in packs of 4, however, and they're $8 for the 4. So, you know, they're like $2 a marker, whereas refills technically are, you know, quite a bit cheaper. That's like the Copic. Overall, the Copic can be a little bit cheaper than your more budget friendlies because of the ability to buy the refill inks. The refills fill a sketch marker up to 12 times. So that puts the cost of that Copic down quite a bit. It's just that initial price of a Copic marker, right? So that would kind of be like these also. But again, if they had refill inks, that could justify it a little bit more. So I don't know. I have no idea what's coming down the pike for them. But, okay, well, that is just a little blurb, I guess, if you will, on their new Ultra markers. I am glad to have gotten this pastel set. I was really curious to see what they were like. Like I said, the colors are so pretty. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked seeing the marker paper and these pastels. I am also going to leave a discount code down below in the description for you guys. You can use my Arteza link to pop over and look at any of their products, but the link will take you directly to this, and there will be a link to the marker paper. And when you check out, you can use a code. It will give you 10% off your order. And that is Lisa's Coloring 1. Lisa's Coloring Corner 1. The number 1. Again, I'll have it in the description. We'll give you 10% off your order. This will be effective through March 17th. So a little over a month that code will be effective. Okay? Just a little something I can pass on to you from Arteza. So thank you very much to Arteza for that discount code, for sending me this 12 set of beautiful pastel markers, and for this marker paper. I think I am going to try to cut some down into 8.5 by 11s, print out, you know, some PDF, or maybe copy something from one of my coloring books, and then, you know, try to do a little more blending and whatnot on this marker paper, maybe with some different brands, the Arteza and, you know, the Copic and my Ohuhu brush markers, things like that, and test out the paper a little bit more. So all right, so again, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this swatching and just a short little review of these products. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new to my channel. I hope everybody's having a terrific day, and as always, happy coloring. Bye guys.